Who likes to play the hero a lot.
Okay.
And it's a team fight specialist, very similar to Earth Spirit in a lot of ways.
Good setup with the SD as well for the Echo Storm.
It's very good at dealing with the LC duel, because the way like you want to start a fight, you jump in, you duel, and you're going to rely on your team to follow up, and when there's a Elder Titan, he's going to be able to storm the backline, so it's very easy for him to counter-initiate the team fights when the LC makes a first move.
Yeah, AT's one of those heroes that's always just very cool, because he can have a massive damage potential, he can turtle the game out very hard, and he always can work into the backline without committing yourself. You're just like this, you throw your spirit and not have to worry.
His weakness is like he doesn't have very solid catch as a 4-row, not like the Earth Spirit. In the last game, Afu set up so many kills for his team. But as an Elder Titan, you're kind of like relying on your team a bit. You can't really see a hero go for a first move. You can't really do that, so that's the downside of the hero. But he does force the enemy carry to itemize very differently, because you have to deal with the Elder Titan aura, you have to build AC, you have to consider Vlads, and then at some point you need a BKB against his ultimate, so it's very difficult to itemize against Elder Titan as a carry.
Do you think the fact that OG have LC means that they're hoping that they can get round the back and maybe stop the Elder Titan being such an issue? Like, if they're going to fight, they could jump in with the LC, you've got Warlock to follow up.
That's the most ideal case, and the Warlock ultimate would stop the Shadow Demon from disrupting the dual target.
We're not falling for that, sir. You're awake.
10 seconds remaining.
Genuine reaction.
Yeah, maybe he really was.
I'll give him that one.
5 seconds
But the cool thing also, the Shadow Demon Elder Titan, not to mention the obvious setup thing, but like obviously with the aura from Elder Titan, with Soul Catcher as well, these two heroes can actually amplify your picks from the rest of your draft very easily.
Battle Fury Medusa, that's some old school item build right there.
Dota 1.
Battle Fury Wind Ranger.
Oh god. Things of nightmares.
He's getting flashbacks.
So for OG right now, they can't really go for the Earth Spirit with the Warlock. One of very potent combos we saw yesterday. The two supports having a lot of damage in between them. Mirana is the other one NP likes to go for with the Warlock.
Oh, those lads are getting on the beers early. Blimey. Is it like 1?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Ted.
It's 2. Oh, fair play.
Still a lot of Dota to be played today, so long day ahead of us.
Long day ahead.
Jirac said to me this morning, he said, not a good day for hair. And he wasn't making fun of me being bald. It's just because it was a little windy this morning. But
Not a good day for hair.
yeah.
I like it. He's got the champagne again. It's the champagne man.
Champagne man. Rode here on a flying courier.
It's a good job there's no bounty hunter in the crowd.
Yeah, so in the second phase, OG removed the Tinker. So that is a big tell that the way they want to approach the game, they might be doing a lot of fight. The last game they were split pushing. This game they might be doing a lot of 5-man because they removed Tinker. Tinker's very good at dealing with 5-man, very good with Elder Titan because of the stalling tactics you can have. You can TP, boost of travel onto the Spirit. You can have a lot of combinations with that. And the Omni Knight ban, you don't want the enemy to have a stronger team fight than you when you're trying to 5-man. So those two bans are going into a direction where OG wants to 5-man, win their lanes 5-man and end the game.
I mean, obviously we know Jerax is a great Earth Spirit. So do you think Warriors Gaming have banned him because they're like, we're not going to pick him and we don't want to have the old I can do anything that you can do.
He plays a lot of heroes though.
He does.
Pudge as well. I think Pudge is also a hero that could cause a lot of problems. But they go back for the Ogre, just very safe pick. You're on the ropes. You don't want to do anything too crazy. You just want to go back for a really stable pick for the lanes. Very good dueling with the LC. Ogre plus LC, very scary in the laning phase. And Sven.
Counteract the Elder Titan
and good
with the armor.
It's very good against the Lifestealer because of the armor as well. But he's not that great against the Shadow Demon, so he has to rely on his team to take out the Shadow Demon. The Shadow Demon Purge is very, very potent against the Sven.
He benefits as well from Fatal Bonds.
Yeah, the Fatal Bonds cleave is going to be real.
Yeah.
And there comes another Sand King.
This is going to be a cracker.
You're starting to piece it together, are you?
They're mixing it up.
I can see the fights already.
That's what I like for WG. That's what we were kind of talking about too. They like to mix up their damage potential. So the Elder Titan, obviously, the aura doesn't only make it so that your armor is reduced, it also amplifies spell damage. So now the Sand King, it kind of puts OG into a position where they have to build BKBs at a relatively early time.
And he's a vehicle for... Sand King's a vehicle for Lifestealer, right?
Exactly.
Laning phase, Sand King plus Elder Titan is not as scary as the other combinations we saw, the Undying or the Ogre. So with the Warlock on their side, maybe the laning phase wouldn't be such a big problem. If they're really worried about that, they could always have the Ogre go to the safe lane to deal with the Sand King.
Are you questioning whether Warriors can win lanes with heroes that probably shouldn't win lanes?
I'm just
Hasn't that just happened?
Dude, I'm just like explaining like how the heroes work together. But
Sure.
They played differently in the last game. So
No flame intended, Winter.
And they,
no flame intended.
well, they are doing something similar, that they're just building a team fight. They were kind of lacking a bit. They had the Elder Titan, of course, but with the Sand King, that enables them to have a bit to be able to deal with the Warlock, since OG only has that one for their team fight so far.
Do we read into the bonus time at all in the contrast between the two teams? You got 8 seconds left on OG and a full 2 minutes.
They are more stressed. Because they are like the favorites, and being the underdog means that you're playing without stress. You're just gonna go and enjoy some Dota, play your best, do whatever strat that you believe in. Whereas for OG, they have a lot of expectations on their back. It's not exactly a good thing.
Expectations from yourselves, expectations from fans, expectations from...
Losing the first game is a lot of stress for OG.
Expectations from your organization. You've won 2 of majors under that name. And now they could very well concede it to probably the largest underdog attending the Boston Major. The Warriors Gaming truly were a bit of an unknown entity, and now they stand
very balanced draft. Like Yannis mentioned, they have spell, they're physical right now, they're push, they can take your towers.
Yeah, this is a really good draft from Warriors.
DK is very good also against the Sven because you have a lot of armor, so you can... Oh, okay. The greed. For the all-out greed here with the Sven and the Alchemist, those 2 heroes are like, you have 2 position 1 heroes, like you have 2 snipers on your team, all take a lot of farm. Greedy.
Oh, man. It's happening.
It's a bit greedy.
Yeah, very greedy.
Greedy? Are you suggesting that the OG upset's on its way?
Oh, it's not a good or bad thing. Sometimes when you go for get away, it's a good thing, but if you can't get away, then it's obviously a bad thing. So we'll see how they balance things out with the greedy pick.
OG, overly greedy.
Okay, on that bombshell, it's time to find out if it really is going to end here. Will Warriors Gaming continue this crazy ride to the semi-finals? They impressed us once in the groups. Will they do it in the playoffs? We'll find out. It's time to cast this. Will OG take us to a third? Let's find out.
Will OG take us to a third, and will OG...
5 seconds remaining.
We're gonna find... What's with this? What is this?
Trying to bring the Christmas cheer with the Alchemist, just maybe give an axe to everyone.
You get an
they're in
axe.
the team.
You get an axe. Everyone gets an axe.
Can they pull it off though? It's a tough one. Sven already notorious for just stealing farm everywhere, and both of them can do ancients. And will they be able to do it against WG? I really like the first man Timbersaw because it's really good versus their lineup, and now without that, they're having to go for a completely different strat than perhaps they initially wanted.
A little bit of shenanigans, looking for the first runes, no tell. Went in pretty deep, and from the angle he came in from the smoke, the way the smoke broke onto Afu, he's probably thinking there is a Radiant Observer Ward on top of the hill. Fly trying to go for the D ward at the moment. There'll be a disruption start from Nova. No tell, Stormbolt to Barbel. Everyone's in the neighborhood, but will he want to try and fight? They're still holding his ability. Does the D ward to start with, and now he's got a good opening inside the narrow stairwell. Can he hold him? Body block at Afu, trying to put everyone to sleep. The burrow strikes there from Kangaroo, combining up with a bolt, but it still won't be enough. S4, it is an overwhelming odds that will be finding the kill against the master of the phone book.
WG has 4 melee, and it actually came into play at that point. They got that the disruption off, but there was no follow-up. DK wasn't close enough to hit with a Dragon Tail. He didn't bother skilling it up, and Sand King, he tried to get in range for Burrow Strike, but that's only 350 range. So, easy bounty rune for Alchemist. That's the way you want to start this off. If you're trying to get that gold.
It seemed a little odd, but by the time WG knew they wanted to bail, it was too late.
So WG against an Alchemist, we've seen a lot of Alchemists, and we've seen even like a lot of Alchemist wins too, and it's very hard to stop them. So firstly, you need to have a good laning phase. You need to be able to take down the T1s, control the jungle, and control the Ancients. And like the matchup mid, like Dragon Knight, he has a lot of armor, so he won't take that much damage, but their base damage is very similar to each other. So I think that he should come out slightly ahead with Breathe Fire.
Keep your eyes on multiple lanes. There's Kangaroo who's being initiated on the bottom lane. The stuns are out, and he is very low. No Burrow Strikes available. The stun from Armfu will not create enough space. At the same time, WG were trying initiations of their own with the SD, making a break towards S4, but it just doesn't work that way. This SD as well as Lifestealer doesn't pack anywhere near as much of a punch.
Yeah, the Ogre is king in this lane. He slowed the Elder Titan to start to get a first blood. He was able to get rid of the Sand King in the lane, and these two melee heroes just cannot farm at all. He can maybe touch Jerax, but he have a thick layer of fat to get through.
Yeah, and then you've still got the heal that can arrive from the Warlock. You've got
he needs more regen.
You've got two of the most effective supports in the Boston Major protecting a Sven, who has to be the most effective one position in the Major, but with this much space, it may not have that issue that the panel was worried about, where you've got both Anna as well as Notel making a bid for the big stacks.
Yeah, at least they're not stacking. So, yeah, you're not getting that much farm, and Sven is getting free CS, but you're keeping the supports from really pumping up the 2 cores on OG. And in the seeing a little bit of a brawl in the bottom lane. Let's see what spawns Afu going for the stomp right before.
The rune was already down. He was mid-stomp when the bounty hit the ground. So just getting the timing a little bit wrong.
And I like the LC pick. It's been cropping up more and more, and it has a pretty good matchup, surprisingly, versus the Lifestealer. Normally, strength heroes don't do terribly well, but being able to purge the open wounds is very strong when you're just trying to survive. And he has a lot of CS. He has even more CS than the Lifestealer.
Slightly problematic. Just waiting for this top lane. The SD has not had anywhere near as much of an influence as I thought he might, even though I know the combo is pretty bad, zoning out a solo Legion Commander. Okay, yeah, this time around, Disruption, they lock him in. S4 is forced to run into the dire jungle just thanks to the body block of the SD Illusions. But he's got boots, he's got press the attack, he's happy to turn around if they really want to fight him.
Yeah, he's not really scared at all. There's no way they can kill him, I think, with these two. If he's at a decent HP, they just need to pressure him to actually use his press the attack before. Maybe getting an early oof on the Lifestealer might make a difference, but in the bottom lane is where all the action is happening.
Yeah, Burrow Strike, Fu able to get the Stomp off. Now Notel with his own Storm Bolt. Jerax doesn't have much to offer apart from one punch, but one punch may be all that's required. He's so low, the Orb of Venom brings him down to 14 HP. No kill to come from it.
I can't tell if you're trying to intentionally make all these enemy references or no, Toby.
I'm just warming myself up for the MP game next, right?
Yeah. You're not even casting that, Toby. Come on.
Actually, yeah, I am. I'm sticking around for 2 series today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're warming yourself up. This is good. Yeah, they're not able to do that much on bottom lane. Like, the Sand King is really getting nothing. And the Elder Titan, I don't know. I don't really see him like particularly good versus any of these heroes. OG kind of drafted like not high base armor heroes and the Warcry to actually deal with him. So
wait for this rotation. Well, balance with Ogre denying himself up inside the pit. Easy way to get home. And then straight back out to the front lines. Notel now with his full treads up makes Intel a little bit easier to come by when he wants to go for those Storm Bolts.
They have a clarity on the Ogre as well, that they can pass a no-tail easily, but they're starting to get some stacks now. They've already had pretty good lanes, I would say. Alchemist isn't too far behind the mid lane.
Nice Sandstorm.
Yeah, they just have to play very defensively, though. Originally, you would want the Sand King to be able to pressure this lane, and you know, they talked about it on the panel. It's like the Sand King plus Elder Titan is just nowhere near as strong as perhaps the the Earth Spirit plus Sand King or Ogre plus Sand King, and they really can't do anything in this lane. They're just letting them stack up and farm. Warlock getting tons of levels and XP, and this is not going to go well for them.
Well, how do you even change this around? You want to keep going for kills right now. The Stormbolt flies out, goes to ET. Sand King trying to dodge it with the Sandstorm, but it wasn't meant for him. And now Elder Titan on the run flies right behind him, but they don't have any more stuns. Mind that Jerax did go for the 0-2-1 build, not out of the ordinary, but
they're smoking the DK down right at level 6, along with the Shadow Demon. Yeah, well, firstly, you don't die in the lane, but this might be even better.
Looks like such bait. Notel, he doesn't have the mana for a Stormbolt. Warcry's up in 1 second time with the Burrow Strike from Kangaroo. Creates space. This wraparound smoke is still coming. They're trying to kite them up. Done a lot of damage. Here comes your Shadow Demon. Who's he take out the mix? Afu's still low in life, but now the Dragon Knight into his spawn with the Breathe Fire. Hits the SD. Already managed to kill off 1, and it is going to be 2. Sven will take a fall. Jerax will survive by running out for the 6-minute rune. But big
Eyes on the
rotation for
prize.
WG.
And they were just focusing way too much on killing these two melee heroes. Honor probably said, hey, one of them is missing, but you don't expect the Shadow Demon and the DK to rotate that early, especially not around the rune timing. They smoked around 5:15, 5:20. So normally you probably expected, okay, bottom rune, haste, DD, Invis, those are all pretty good to set up, but OG are constantly trying to zone out these two melee heroes and suffering as a result.
Stormbolt on bottom lane. Nova did see Jirax moving over with that double damage rune, but it's the DK who's on the run, so just a quick disruption. Taking Jirax out of the play for a bit. WG were in no position to fight. They were all too low. A straight bailout. Meanwhile, in Alchemist land, the coins rain from the sky. Now at 4.3k in the net worth, even with a good rotation, Alchemist is having the time of his life.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And that left side of the map is open. Like LC can constantly farm that camp just to his immediate south, and the ancient stacking, which hasn't come yet, can easily start. But probably not due to the help of the HOD from No-Tail. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it first this game with WG's game plan. You can tell that they pretty much haven't touched neutrals at all. WG, they're like no pulling on the top lane. Shadow Demons constantly left the lane. So because of this, you expect them to keep applying pressure over and over, and you might not want to go for as greedy of items.
Jirax goes home again, courtesy of the Fists of Roshan. Look for his TP rotation, potentially S4. Some help.
Fly is in observer range, or he was, and they can maybe kill him if he's out by himself.
And without the epicenter, it seems a little risky. The Stomp is coming in with the Spirit, no talents in the neighborhood. He's still got Sandstorm dodge available for Kangaroo as the fight happens on multiple lanes. Nana almost back to that tier 1 tower. Anna cannot get close enough with Jirax to finish the job, but it's bottom lane where the Burrow Strike happens. Kangaroo face to get out, but he can't take more damage. Remember, the Fatal Bonds has tied them together. This will last a couple more seconds. Is Jirax really? Okay, this is another way to find a kill. Nana's going to get himself a bottle, but this may not be enough. With the Spirit down, they need to create some space, give him time to bottle up, but it won't work. Warlock just moves in, takes the kill, and DK will fall.
Very greedy from them. They don't want to relent the pressure. They don't want to go back home to heal. They don't want to, farm neutral stack. They don't want to give the Alchemist any space. But it's coming back to bite them as they don't really come out ahead in the lanes at all. Bottom lanes kind of been a disaster apart from that one rotation. And Alchemist is Mr. Moneybags.
Yeah, he's got a lot. It was OG who was meant to be the greedy ones, not WG. WG is just doing it through the way they're playing. But with this Alchemist rapidly approaching, like, you're only 9 minutes in with 6.2k net worth. It's only. It's, you know what, he could be better. 637 gold per minute. It's a bit slow.
I think Armlet Radiance around 12 is almost free farm. It's generally the timing that you're looking at, and he's gonna get it very close to that. I don't really see them being able to, like, take that mid T1 tower or wrap around and gank them. It's just too obvious because they've constantly been showing the lanes. They're trying to make a move on the bottom lane, but it has been scouted out and everyone's already there. And S4, he's kind of just chilling up on his own, farming up too. He's quite high on the
mid lane. Nana, don't walk up that hill. The Stormbolt's gonna fly out. Fly also lending off that Shadow Word. They've got a lot of damage into the DK. Dragon Knight form will be popped. He's got one charge up his sleeve for the Fatal Bonds, connecting all the WG players together. No-Tail is low, but Arfu going a little bit too far over the river. Now they get the stun onto the Dragon Knight. Fatal Bonds, remember, is still connecting them all together. So WG cannot afford to go into the fight.
Stalling is good for OG, much similar to last game. The longer this game goes, the better for OG.
Dire's top tower is
Alchemist just found the bounty room, which almost gave him his relic.
Yeah, he might even get it before 12 minutes at this pace. And this is without supports stacking for him at all. And not the best matchup for him in the mid lane. He was losing out on CS, maybe like 30 to 20-ish early on in the game.
Now, the only stacked camp I've seen him farm was the one that S4 actually stacked next to the Radiant Secret Shop. That's the only stack he farmed. He farmed that just before he came into the mid-fight then. But the net worth is still exploding.
Relic already in Ana's possession.
under attack.
Ajit's not happy on this top lane. He's triggered off his rage. So some cooldown for the moment. Doesn't want to battle when S4 and Jirax is hovering around.
Radiant has used scan. Elder Titan actually almost passes through it, but will wrap around to the south side. as they try and make a move on this Alchemist. They ping out the Ancients, but if they go that way, they're going to find S4 before anything else.
And S4 still running away. Observer Ward will pop down. Nova Smoke did break. There's no Radiant Vision in this area, so this is their advantage. Now they see the Elder Titan. He flags on OG's radar. They don't see the SD. They don't see the SK.
There's no reason for them to farm up that side. They can just easily take their south side Radiant neutrals and just be completely okay. WG already popped their smoke. They very likely have Observer Ward so they can make that gank. And they have no good initiation aside from the Sand King. So Sand King shows, as he is about to do on top perhaps, then they're free to farm.
Fly is finally going to see that Observer Ward, that Sentry Ward blocking the camp. The big Ancient stack they want to have. Quickly farmed up and prepares now for the triple stack.
Yep, Radiant's online in 300 gold. This is so early on in the game. If he gets his bounty rune, it's definitely going to happen. And there it is. 12 minutes on the dot.
That man prayed to Lord Gaben earlier this morning.
Yeah, it doesn't even take that much luck. Even without bounty runes, he still get around this time with the way that WG has played. Just they can't go into the jungle at all. Like, look at this, these Observer Wards from OG. One in the middle lane, one close to the Ancients, and this is with a Sven farming
They
too.
just smoked. They're coming in. They want the kill over on the Dragon Knight. No-Tel will get the stun off with the Warcry. They've got the movement speed to close the distance. Into the first stun, concoction to follow up, plus the duel from the Legion Commander. OG, they've done this time and time again during the group stages. This big maneuver, show of strength, find one kill, take the mid-tier 1 tower just after the 10-minute mark. Amplified, of course, by Anna's farm.
And no one can contest that. Shadow Demon comes in, boom, drop the rock, 2 heroes are dead. But do it this way, you lose 1 hero and you still have the rock. They are in between. I was about to say rock and a hard place, but that they're in a really tough line right now. Like, all their early game movements have failed. They don't have the correct late game heroes to assault this Alchemist or to contest his farm. He's doubling up people already. And this is like kind of just when he got his Radiance. And now the Blink Dagger's up on the LC, so they have plenty of heroes to create space for him. And they see them doing the Ancients, but they're already dead. No-Tail, he gets scouted out by the Elder Titan.
So this is what the Lifestealer is having to resort himself to. Walking around an Ancient Thunderhide, messing up with Anna's farm. Now, SD's going to get a couple of copies. This is actually quite nice. And then with a Lifestealer behind, Flying will get the rock off. Maybe Arjik can find that kill. Yes, he will. Battle Bonds have still tied a couple of WG together. And the duel actually held the ET in position. The SD is low because that, but the epicenter from Kangaroo goes through Jirax, taking out his life. They're looking for another target, but who do they really want? Okay, maybe they don't want anybody. S4 is on the hunt with that Blink Dagger of his. He can close the distance. No, he can't. It's a haste rune spawning on bottom river. So a 2-for-1 trade-off, and that's with the committal of the first major rock of OG.
I do like that play from the Lifestealer. They need vision. They don't have any vision in the areas that they need. He like kind of walked in between the T1 and the T2. It's a very dark spot for them, and was able to find the Warlock. Ideally, you kill him before the rock, but he doesn't. So, yep, they get the initiation on him. Warlock drops the rock, but look at Jet from behind. And Ana, he's standing right next to the tower. He's not really scared of anything at the moment. Duel comes out. This also almost kills the Shadow Demon from Fatal Bonds.
He was lucky to escape from that one with the extra help from the Lifestealer and the SK space got to be created.
That's just 2 supports down.
Yeah, it's something. But
yeah.
it's not stemming the bleeding, which isn't really coming from WG. It's just the fact that OG is injecting more blood into their system. They're about 7,000 net worth in front. 3,500 in the experience when they take this top tower with the Blink duel. Legion Commander finds the right timing. The Burrow Strike from Kangaroo creating a lot of space. S4, the dual press will bring him down. Now Anna is trapped. This is huge kills for WG. If they can kill up the Alchemist, the Stormbolt will arrive. No-Tel, the Burrow Strike's still there, but toggle. Anna will get himself a double kill. They had a good opening. They stopped the duel. They won the fight, but they lost the war.
Quite poetic, too.
So, you know, they breed us culture down in Australia.
Okay, Sticky Beak. we were looking up words of the try.
Durax, a little bit of trouble. Lifesteal's going to start over on him. You have Pudge available if things get a little bit rough, as Durax is basically actually committed anyway.
It doesn't even matter if these supports are dirt poor, because Alchemist, he farms a Scepter for them in, what, maybe like 2.5, 3 minutes? Yep. If he actually wanted to give the gold to them. So if they just sit on Brown Boots, Windlace, Magic Stick all game like Durax has right now, it doesn't even matter. They'll get the Ags maybe 35 minutes in, and they'll be 3 times as strong.
With the farm rate of Anna as well, it's not even something where he has to go, oh, should I rush into an Aghanim Scepter for my teammates? Right now, his version of rushing an Aghanim Scepter is just standard progression. But you're going to get that Mana Style done in just a couple of seconds. He's already picked up Boots of Travel. There's only 2 more item slots to fill at that point.
Yep. And Octarine is going to be a trivial task for him. So, looking from WG side, they don't have the best illusion clearing heroes. The only thing that they really have to deal with illusions is the Shadow Demon, and that's pretty much just making illusions of him. But Lifestealer, you'll see like sometimes going for a Maelstrom build. I see a hammer on him. Still unsure whether or not that's going to be Dezo. Dezo,
you'll find out now. He just hit 1600.
Yeah. Dezo
there it is, it's Dezo.
They want to be able to kill people, but it's not good versus the illusions, and it's not terribly great versus the Sven. But it will help them take objectives and Roshan, and they feel like they need damage now. They wait and farm, they are going to be even in a worse position than they are now.
Well, smoke time. No Dire Observer Ward in that area. Instead, the Dire Observer Wards are more into OG's jungle. You know, this line being drawn up where OG is looking to fight. There's nobody there. Even WG scanning, thinking maybe OG went straight down the hill, across the river, and up into their jungle.
If they all in on the Alchemist, though, the Warlock and the rest of OG's team are smoked right behind them. And
how do you even all in on an Alchemist? Like, he's going to mana dodge and Chemical Rage. It's
Epicenter into Blink Burrow Strike, and then just throw everything at him. That's what you have to do.
Instead, it looks like they're trying to force someone to TP back to mid lane. So with the DK pressuring, OG need to change the field of battle. This is a better one. Notel caught in the top river. The Burrow Strike out with the ET Spirit down. Notel's got very little to defend himself with. So that is the best case scenario for WG.
It's very strange that he didn't TP out. They had 3 heroes TP mid, Alchemist TP bottom, and then Sven was the only one who was left. And WG, all the heroes were in full vision. And now they can actually maybe take a 5-4-on-5 Ana. Is he going to get caught by the stomp here?
Yeah, they just leave the Spirit in the back lines to create more space, and then they disrupt over on that Alchemist. Turns against him. S4 actually jumped in at that point, looking for a kill. The Rock is down with a Fetter Bonds. Lifestealer and DK combined together. The Epicenter will kill off the Alchemist. The expense is the Lifestealer of WG. And they're on the run. S4 Blink Dagger is off cooldown, and SD is such a juicy target. If only he can get close enough. Tries to break free. Blink Dagger still on cooldown. SD juking it out the tree lines, but it's time to duel, and SD will add a little bit of plus damage into the Legion Commander, now adding up to 34.
Bad, not bad for them. The Lifestealer sacrifices his life just running straight in on the Alchemist, but Sand King doing the majority of the damage with the Epicenter to follow up.
No. Every second the Alchemist is down, that's a lot of money lost.
And Shadow Demon Illusions, I mean, they do a lot of damage left alone, and it's not like OG can actually kill those illusions quite quickly.
So I'm wondering, like, the build we should go on the Alchemist in this game, was it... Like, obviously, you're going to get the early Radiance anyway, but is there something better the Alch should build into, which doesn't make the SD as powerful with this disruption?
The only other build is like the attack. I guess there's 2 other builds. One's like the attack speed damage build, like a Maelstrom, AC Basher, those sort of items. And then the other one is like the very team fighty build with the Medallion, Solar Crest, and mech. But they don't need him for armor or for a mech, so that build is kind of out of the question. The attack speed build is okay, but you don't really want a man fight versus a Lifestealer. It's much riskier. Why not just get Radiance? Yeah, Shadow Demon might get a little bit of farm, and it might be a little bit annoying in the team fights, but you're like almost guaranteed to have this sort of net worth by 20 minutes if you just go the standard, we call it the more build. Manta Octarine Radiance. Far more.
I actually wonder too, like once the Axe comes up, is it worthwhile to get that extra? Do you give it to this Sven? All Fire Strike speaking of Sven, initiated on. The ET Splitter is down. Does he have enough to find the armored toggle? Needs a little bit more time and the clean! Nortel with the extra Storm Bolt. The Pudge is on him. He'll need to toggle his way through this one. And he will survive. The disruption down. WG, they're going to lose out big.
That is a sad fight for them to take, especially with the Lifestealer just picking up the Dezo. That's kind of his peak in this game. And if you can't take a fight like that with focusing down the Sven, who is much less in net worth than the Alchemist, then you're going to have immense trouble taking down the Alchemist and the rest of his kin.
Doesn't that kind of give you flashbacks to the 4-staffing sniper from earlier today? A bad fight for WG. This time around, though, it gives the advantage to OG. Getting them closer and closer towards forcing this into a game 3.
They can't be too comfortable, though.
Oh, the Fire Strike is in. Alchemist already has the Agency model S4. He couldn't get the duel off in time. It was a fairly quick sandstorm by the SK, and Kangaroo was able to escape.
And King's trying his best to make some plays here. Trying his best. Just a little bit too late, I believe, on that.
The ET Spirit Storm actually got in the perfect timing to jump in, but just, yeah, that's that lateness you're talking about.
So how does Lifesteal actually do damage now? BKB is coming out on the Sven. I think all of this comes down to the initiation from Sinking. If he gets like a 2-man Epicenter Burrow Strike and Lifestealer is able to have that precious 2-3 seconds of uptime on a hero as soon as he pops out of MFS, they can burst down a hero. But if like Warlock is able to drop the rock, stop his rage, and Alchemist can buy a couple of seconds with the Manta, then they're going to win the fight. So Sinking, he has to have kind of the same impact that the Earth Spirit did last game, but this time they're fighting with a huge net worth deficit.
Huge is almost an understatement. 13,000 the advantage going the way of OG. The experience has cracked the 10k mark too, and now OG get a little bit of extra. Double damage rune in the bot river.
Uh-oh.
So Nortel's going to pick this one up.
Sinking's out in no man's land. They figure that they might have stopped the TP from Kang with that unstable concoction, which is undisjointable.
Nova, you do not want to be here. He'll get a copy of the Alchemist to try and slow down the push on bot lane. But OG are getting tankier. They even dominated the Ogre Frost Mage. So Sven's walking around with 27 armor before Warcry.
Ice Armor is a very good choice here. Very little magic damage. And, I mean, from Sanking, I suppose, but that's it. Like, if the Lifestealer can't do anything in these fights, I don't see them walking over OG. But Sanking in the back, he was picked out.
Yeah, the ping came. I don't know if he was actually scouted or not. Like, if it was WG.
Ooh, Shadow's even thought about that one. Gotta cancel that one quick.
Hana's gonna concoct himself. This tier 2 tower is toast. The ET Spirit's pretty good at defense, but you don't have the same kind of combination as we saw in game 1 with that Fade Bolt as well as Illuminate. OG have more than enough strength to survive any of the deep push of WG. Because you don't even have any points of Shadow Poison. It's all Disruption and Catcher. It's all that single target. Bring down the Alchemist if possible. But you want to bring him down, you got to fight through his Chemical Rage, through his Armlet toggling, through that huge amount of armor he has when Warcry is triggered. That was plus 37. On the Alchemist. And he's still got an Aegis as well. So Kangaroo and Arjit, they're going to try and creep skip this out. Remove the creep wave if possible. And this will stall the push. Backdoor regeneration is up.
Yeah, they don't want to lose right now.
S4. They're infested. Fire Strike 1 second. Now they can go. Fire Strike pop out. S4 quickly mopped up. 45 seconds on the sideline. So breathing room for WG.
And maybe looking for one more as Lifestealer tries to scout out all the heroes, but OG will return to their base and farm.
What a surprise.
Well, they could have tried to pressure it a little bit more, but the Shadow Demon illusions are actually buying them a lot of time. You can't really kill them. It's not worth killing them because they'll just expire in about 14 seconds. However, they're worried about the creep wave. Highest net worth by 25. That was a hard one to predict. Easy one.
Easy points, easy money. Lifestealer chasing down Jirax. He is under the cover of Invis, but Jirax has a lot of friends. Lifestealer attacking quick and attacking fast. Rage is still up, so Concoction won't be able to hit him. Okay, he actually stuns it by stunning himself. The SK Burrow strikes through with a 4-star. Lifestealer give him some space to move. And also with disruption from Nova. OG, this is becoming complicated.
Yeah, they're giving away a lot of picks here and there.
But even that stomp, that's nice. DK! No. He jumped all the way in. The ET splitter will create a little bit more space. This is bringing Kangaroo time and space to bring down the wall of Epicenter. It's on from him too, but the duel locks the Dragon Knight in position. No way to toggle this one. And Lifesteal's coming in the form of the Centaur. He's dominating. He's going to look for the stun to begin on Notel, then pop out with the Burrow Strike. WG making most of the environmental resources.
Sand out of mana. Is he going to be able to force step away? I don't think that OG knows that he's out.
You want to wait? Nova, you're dying to illusions when you're that close.
He wants the farm, man. That's
what he wants to go back in and disrupt another. He can't. He doesn't have a TP himself, so
you're
Kangaroo's
secretly
stick
excited. If you're a Shadow Demon, you're secretly excited. It's like, man, I could. It's kind of like dropping a rock. It's like, oh, I guess there were no heroes. I guess I will just farm these neutrals with my rock.
All of a sudden, I'm wasting abilities, wasting my life. I'm actually bleeding myself into death. But don't worry, I can get farm. That's the spirit of the Anti-Mage.
They do need more money, though. It's becoming disgusting. We talk about triple net worth. It's getting to almost, triple net worth.
Yes, almost exactly where we thought it was going to be. With that Alchemist. So
they need to keep getting picks. They've gotten picks on the supports quite sometimes, and Ags will kind of remedy their poorness situation. However, it does give WG much needed gold from getting these kills over and over because they are at such a net worth disadvantage that each and every kill, even on support, is going to yield them a lot of gold. And yeah, I don't know. Like going into the late game, you don't really want to stall out. As you mentioned, you can even give the Ags to Sven to buff up your entire team. So like waiting is no bueno.
Here they come. Top lane, Anna prepares his concoction, just stuns up over on the SD illusions. There's the downside when Anna can keep Stormbolt to commit. That's how much SD is an issue.
Yeah, those illusions are quite strong. And there's the AC on top, makes tower sieging much easier. And aside from that, I guess, stomping constantly is going to help them out. The Ancient Black Dragon raining fire upon the base of the tower.
I know, like we don't have a Naga in this game, but with the way the Manda style is working at the moment, it's acting very much the same way. Manda, set it down, skip out the creep waves, push everything out without OG having to leave the top lane.
Naga on roids. That's what Alchemist is in this game.
So what happens when Naga and Popeye get together? Alchemist gets created. But OG still need that initiation. S4 kind of is that, but he doesn't want to initiate in on an Ancient Black Dragon, one because he can't.
They also don't have that many BKBs, so like pushing into that and then having to deal with the Sand King who could potentially get a huge epicenter burrow strike. It's not an auto win for them. They can't just straight walk up the hill and be like, whatever, we'll just shrug whatever spells are thrown at us. They have to approach it with some finesse, especially with the Shadow Demon stalling it out so well with this disruption.
It's almost WG's time to go home. Kangaroo and Nana have been down here. Kangaroo's got enough money for his full Aghanim Scepter, while the DK is sitting at 3.5k. Interesting to see if he just wants to hold onto his buyback or if he needs items to take this fight. Because bit by bit, okay, Notel jumps in, 3 hits to kill off the Shadow Demon. He's got buyback the bubble, plus got the disruption off beforehand. So they've already got Alchemist fighting for the WG cause, plus the Ancient Black Dragon being ignored. Really makes this pushing a little bit harder. Okay, a little bit of miss micro. Ogre Frost Mage. Casualty.
They know that Shadow Demon is one of the best stalwarts that they have. Elder Titan's not that big a deal. You can just spread your illusions out. But Shadow Demon is the one that actually kills the creep waves and causes the Alchemist to miss a lot of hits on his tower. And the AC aura on top of that is also quite annoying to deal with.
This seems way too hard for OG. Like, life is meant to be easier for a team which has like 17,000 net worth advantage.
Yeah, but Shadow Demon can kind of neutralize that by making illusions of this 30,000 net worth hero.
Yeah,
so it's not as easy as it seems.
Here's the first one.
And that's how you throw. You push high ground and just overconfident in the way that you do it. And certainly nerves can get to OG if it is game number 2 and they're 1 game away from elimination. We definitely saw it from VP. There was a lot of rare spell.
He gave it. He did. He gave it to No-Tail. It is the Sven Aghanim's upgrade.
That is something that you don't see very often. Normally it'd be, I'd probably rank him like Ogre would be most likely, then Warlock, and then the Sven with Legion Commander like a distant 4th, but everyone else can right-click pretty darn hard. Alchemist doesn't have the most strength, so 200%. It's not even 200% right now because he's not level 16, 150%.
This injection of damage. DK coming out. No-Tail looking for a target. Arfu sitting in the tree lines. Now starts to TP. BKB after BKB. The Storm Bolt easily dodged out by the SK. So No-Tail putting that axe to use. BKB goes drop down to 7 seconds. Yeah, he actually held on to it.
It's really good for sieging towers, though. I think like if they want to do the slow siege, they could easily blow God Strength. It's not a super long cooldown, 80 seconds, and he probably wants to wait for level 16 too. He's really close to level 16 on this, Sven.
Yeah, Nana, you can't fight that. You got no escape as well with no BKB available. The duel's going to begin from S4 with the Blade Mail on. No protection allowed. SD couldn't get close enough to get the disruption. That's the only way they really could have stopped their DK from dying, and now the jump in, the Burrow Strike is good from the SK, but the Rock was better, hitting most of WG. Maybe Nana with this buyback can do work, but with no Dragon Form, the Lifestealer down as well. More buybacks need to be committed if they want to hold their base WG. The TP out isn't working, a triple kill for Ana. The epicenter finally comes in, but it only hits the Alchemist, and he's very unaffected by this. In 1 second time, Chemical Rage is back off cooldown, and now Ana just starts ripping apart the racks.
No way to stop him. They can try and slow him down with the Elder Titan, but that was an immediate
Burrow Strike's good. Spirit into Stomp. Lifestealer looking to bash into him more. He's still got the Infest available, but Jirax gets the initial stun, and he Infests into the range melee. But OG will lose most of their creep wave, but they don't care. Their sustain is unbelievably good. So they take the mid racks. Now they push for the top lane as well. WG looking for the opening with the Aghanim Scepter fresh on the SK. Wants to get that good Burrow Strike, able to do it, slow down the Alchemist, buy time for the DK to live, but OG got what they came for, objective-based gaming. They take the melee racks. They'll turn and fight if WG wish to chase though.
Uh-oh, Nova, is he gonna die to this illusion?
No. He's fine.
He needs the help of his teammates to clear him out, and yeah, that's half your base gone.
Problems. Definitely problems for WG, but luckily they're a game up in the series.
Sven actually died pretty early on in that fight. He got focused down heavily by Shadow Demon with the Purge and the Lifestealer. If he stays alive, I think the structural damage is going to be way heavier.
Ags number 2 on the way on the Courier. At the same time, Satanic has completed on the Sven.
So looks like
Warlock is standing next
ready.
to him. It's Fly's turn for an upgrade.
Yep, there it goes. 2 rocks.
Well, Ramsey's asked for it. He's got it. The Fly Boss gonna have the double rocks. Not level 3 on his ultimate yet. It's a little bit short of 16, but Roshan is available for OG. And this will probably be the best chance WG has to potentially turn the momentum of this game around. Catch OG in a compromising position at Roshan.
They're just poor.
Yep.
30,000 net worth behind.
Well, this is what happens when a greed lineup pays off. Investment capital, and all of a sudden, the company is self-sustaining.
And paying dividends. And stock for everyone that initially invested. And then some.
Basically, everyone's
Scan
rolling
hits.
in a bathtub of like bills.
Scan hits near the Dire Secret shop, so they know they're wrapping around behind. It's either going to be 1 of 2 places, one from the river or one from behind.
Smoke from OG. See the ping coming in from Ogre. He knows, they know. WG will walk into it, S4 will trigger off the smoke. Makes a break for the tree lines, the Burrow Strike from Kangaroo will reach it, but No-Tail jumps into a target, instantly disrupted as well as Pudge, so he couldn't kill off Nana. This fight will split into multiple parts. As it's over on the left, it's going to be already Warlock down for the count. The epicenter arriving in from Kangaroo. Can they bring down the Sven? The DK stunned up too much. Concoction's also here underneath the Sentry Ward. There was nowhere to hide. And we are forced into a third game as OG. They played the greed and it paid off.
Very difficult lanes to break. And WG tried their best to assault that early game economy from OG, but just no chance. Alchemist, you got that perfect timing with the Armlet Radiance at 12 minutes, and they just played it very slow and steady from there.
You said it yourself, man. The Alchemist practically had free farm.